Fans aren't exactly furious to hear their favorite one-eyed leader Nick Fury will be making his return in an upcoming show. But who else will we see? Disney announced, to the excitement and somewhat surprise of their fans, that Nick Fury will be getting his own show on their streaming service Disney+, with Samuel L. Jackson reprising his role as the titular character. Bringing in Jackson to star in the show is a big deal for Disney and shows that they are really investing in their streaming site. Information is light on the ground as to what the show will be about and who else will be appearing alongside Jackson in the show, with Marvel as per usual keeping information under wraps. But that doesn't mean there haven't been rumors, potential leaks, and speculation as to who will be in the show, what will happen, and where it'll be set. In this video, we will take a look at these theories as well as make our own guesses as to which MCU characters will appear in the show. This will include old fan favorites making a comeback, new introductions to the MCU, and of course, a further in-depth look into what Fury's return will mean to the MCU. So put on your eye patches and your best leather jacket and watch out for flurkins as we discuss the man himself, Nick Fury.
Show him what we got.
So let's get the first and most obvious one out of the way. Nick Fury, because let's face it, it wouldn't be much of a Fury show without him.
Nick Fury, director of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Samuel L. Jackson is set to reprise the part, which, unless they plan on using de-aging technology again, indicates that it's set in the present or at least sometime in the recent timeline. But where exactly is Fury in the present? Well, for fans who stuck around for the Spider-Man Far From Home post-credits scene, and let's face it, as Marvel fans you did, we found out the shock twist that S.H.I.E.L.D. agents Fury and Maria Hill are actually Skrulls. For people who have seen Captain Marvel, which again, as Marvel fans you most certainly have, will know that Skrulls are a race of shape-shifting aliens, meaning that they have been impersonating and acting as the agents for some time. Although, fans did wonder if Fury had been a Skrull since Captain Marvel, but director Jon Watts was quick to quash that. So if that wasn't Fury in Far From Home, where was he? Well, in the post-credits scene, we see that he's actually off in space, which have led fans to believe that Fury could be working on setting up the Sentient World Observation and Response Department, better known as SWORD, but more on that later. Another theory that fans seem to believe this post-credits scene suggests, along with the news of the Fury show, is that the storyline will focus on the Secret Invasion storyline. If you hadn't guessed, Secret Invasion's premise is just that, with Skrulls slowly invading Earth by posing as high-ranking individuals such as Fury. In the comics, the Skrulls do this to gain a much-needed advantage in their war with the Kree, which was one of the major plot points in the Captain Marvel movie. Nick Fury also played a big part in the Captain Marvel movie, with us seeing a younger version of the character and even the infamous story of how he lost his eye.
Was a close call, huh, Goosey? Oh, mother fucking!
The storylines set up in Captain Marvel are by no means finished, so it is certainly plausible that they are further explored in the Nick Fury series. If it does indeed focus on this storyline, then we can expect to see a number of Captain Marvel characters to show up in the show. One such character is Captain Marvel herself, with Brie Larson apparently in talks to appear in the show. But it's unclear how many episodes she would be in and how much her appearance would impact the plot. Captain Marvel struck up a rapport in the movie, so it is certainly not surprising to see the character linked with making an appearance. This means we will probably also see Ben Mendelsohn's Talos, who was impersonating Fury in Far From Home. Talos and Fury first came into contact during the events of Captain Marvel, with Talos originally impersonating Director Keller and initially seemed to be Fury's primary antagonist. Eventually, the Skrulls, Captain Marvel, and Fury united to go against the Kree, and it seems that their relationship didn't end there. If the show does indeed center on the Secret Invasion plotline, then there is almost no way that Talos can be left out. Another character we could see return is Monica Rambeau. While she was a child in the events of Captain Marvel, it has been announced that an adult Monica will be making an appearance in the fellow Disney Plus show WandaVision at the end of this year. But there is more to Monica than initially meets the eye, with the character having superpowers, similar to Captain Marvel in the comics after being bombarded by extra-dimensional energy. In fact, Monica even goes by the moniker Captain Marvel at one point in the comics before adopting the alias Spectrum. If Monica is grown up in the MCU and does have superpowers, we could plausibly see her making an appearance in either a Secret Invasion storyline or SWORD. As the Secret Invasion includes the Skrulls' war with the Kree, we could see a member of the Kree also appear, such as Jude Law's Yon-Rogg. Yon-Rogg was one of the primary villains in Captain Marvel, and last we saw him, he was being sent back to Hala to deliver a warning message sent by Carol Danvers. But his storyline was left unresolved, so could he be making his return in the show in the form of the main antagonist, leading an army of Kree to take over Earth? Certainly a possibility, but maybe more of an outlier. But let's move on from the Secret Invasion storyline, shall we, and move on to Sword. Sword could potentially work in the same storyline as Secret Invasion, especially if Sword are brought in as a countermeasure or to stop a potential Kree invasion, but for now we'll treat them separately. Sword is a counter-terrorism and intelligence agency with the main purpose to deal with extraterrestrial threats posed to Earth, and is not to be confused with the Space Force. They are, in effect, the space version of S.H.I.E.L.D., so it's not surprising that Fury would have a hand in it, and seeing as the last we saw of him he was out in space, it makes a lot of sense that Sword will be appearing in the show. So who could be involved in Sword? Well, it's probably easy money to bet that Kobe Smolder's Maria Hill will be making an appearance, seeing as her and Fury are attached at the hip and she's his trusted number 2. The last time we saw the real Hill was Tony's funeral in Endgame, and we learned in Infinity War that her and Fury were working on a new organization, which, if it is Sword, makes it likely that we will see Hill again in the show. Also, seeing as Sword has links to S.H.I.E.L.D., it is possible we will be seeing some members of S.H.I.E.L.D., such as Phil Coulson. The events of Season 7 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. saw an LMD Coulson working for a revitalized S.H.I.E.L.D.
Cool.
A reformed S.H.I.E.L.D. could fit into the Fury show and could work in canon. Another S.H.I.E.L.D. member who could make her way onto the show is Sharon Carter, the great niece of Peggy Carter. It's unclear who Carter works for now. She was a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent but went up against them to help out Steve Rogers in Civil War. Could she have left S.H.I.E.L.D. and moved over to Sword? Chloe Bennett, who plays Daisy Johnson, aka Quake in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show, has also been recently rumored to be making an appearance in the Fury show, with her again taking up the character of Quake. Her character even ends up in space in the show, so it feels like she could be a perfect match for Sword, as she is a formidable character. Darcy Lewis, played by Kat Dennings, could also make an appearance in the series. The character will be returning to the MCU in WandaVision, and there are suggestions in the trailer that she could potentially be a member of Sword. Randall Parks' Jimmy Woo is also making an appearance in WandaVision, and while he is an FBI agent in Ant-Man and the Wasp, he could also be another character to transition over to Sword. But there is another rumor doing the rounds that reinforces the idea that Sword will appear in the Fury show, with there being a rumored Agents of Sword show in the works at Disney, with Jon Favreau apparently writing the first episode. The alleged leaks that happened on 4chan also claim that Gotham's Cameron Monaghan and Viking's Catherine Winnick have been cast in the show to appear alongside Smolder's Maria Hill as the Inhuman Victor Cole and member of Thanos' Black Order Supergiant, respectively. There are also rumors that X-Men Days of Future Past's Nicholas Hoult has been cast, but not as Beast, who he portrays in the X-Men series and who is a member of Sword in the comics, but as Thane, the secret Inhuman son of the Mad Titan Thanos. Right now, there are just rumors and speculation, and it is also unclear how they would work in the story. But outside of these storylines, who else could we see? Disney seems to be going all in on their streaming service Disney+, and one of the ways they're doing this is by releasing a host of Marvel TV shows which will highly likely link in with the broader MCU and cinematic releases. Disney+ is expected to introduce a number of new characters, with members of the Young Avengers likely to appear in the show WandaVision, and that could easily be the case for the Fury show as well. While it is unclear how it would work, Fury could be an opportunity for Marvel to bring in other characters to the fray, such as She-Hulk, who we recently learned will be played by Orphan Black's Tatiana Maslany. This could be a place for Marvel to springboard the character and introduce her to the wider world of the MCU. Another character who could potentially make an appearance is Moon Knight, who will also have his own Disney Plus show. Although casting hasn't been announced, Marvel reportedly really wants John Wick himself, Keanu Reeves, to play the character. And we know that Marvel and Keanu have certainly been in talks over a potential project. It could also be an opportunity to introduce us to the movie releases such as Blade and Shang-Chi, with Victor Cole rumored to also appear in the latter. It also gives us an opportunity for returning characters to appear, such as Winter Soldier, Scarlet Witch, and Hawkeye. One of the characters that is heavily linked is the new Captain America Sam Wilson. His transition to Cap will be dealt with in the show The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but the Fury series could give him an opportunity to appear as an established Cap, which could be an exciting prospect.
Thank you. I'll do my best.
For now though, we'll just have to wait, but we can expect things to change at the drop of a hat. What did you make of the news? Are you looking forward to the show? Any characters you would like to see in particular? Let us know in the comments below, and make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for this and more MCU content.